No Rest for the Wicked. Stealth Overkill Difficulty Guide. Boy, I can't believe I'm actually doing this now again. Boy, I miss actually doing this since my Payday 2 guides. It was really enjoyable to do, and I hope you guys were like fancy enough with some of the tips and tricks I do. Hopefully for Pay Free, I hope it give you guys a lot more help when dealing on the highest difficulty with the most challenges that come across, especially dealing with some of the annoying security modifiers, being the lead guard. Of course, so every time you, of course, load up a difficulty, of course, if you go for overkill, like I do, you'll be facing with two security modifiers, where on lower difficulties, normal and hard, you don't have to face any of them at all. On very hard, you do have to face one, and overkill, you have to face two. So for No Rest for the Wicked, which I'm pretty sure they'll change the security modifiers during in the next update, for now I have Lead Guard and Titan Cams. Titan Cams are pretty much the same as they were in Payday 2. They're indestructible and there's no way to destroy them. The only way to get them offline is by killing the camera operator in the security room. And the Lead Guard, which I'll explain to you right away once we get to the guy. So another thing I gotta do here, which I do apologize in advance, is that I will pause certain tips, certain part of the video, and give you guys pretty much my tip, what I do here, so that way I don't pretty much lose track. But so what I'm doing right now is actually hacking to the camera, since I have, of course, all the stealth skills. So if you actually watch my previous video, being the stealth build, and see all the skills I have, you'll definitely get a better understanding what type of skills I use and what I use it for. So, of course, I hacked into the cameras and going to loop the cameras. And I want you guys to pay attention to the color of the light of the camera is. So I'm trying to find the second floor and loop one of the cameras. I loop one of them, but I just want to show you guys what it looks like. Okay, you see on the wall here that the camera's, little light glow is red. Of course, the red indicates that they're still online. But the moment I secure a loop or camera loop, which has been called in Payday 2, I've been using that word now, it will change to blue. And you could definitely tell another detail is that you can see your outline of the player you are. You can definitely see me through the wall where the little red light area is. And you can definitely see I am nowhere near that site where that camera is. But the moment I hit the L1 button, I can actually do a camera loop. And look at that. Unfortunately, I couldn't pause it at the right moment. But I looped two cameras in the second floor, which to me is the biggest threat to deal with the cameras. So here's, of course, the skill. Rush comes in hand with the certain skills that allow you to accessory lockpick. Okay, so I pick up that key card on the table, which is actually a favor. Now, normally the guards do carry, now the ground floor and the upper floor, or second floor guards will have a key card. So usually the ground floor usually gets maybe a 75% chance of spawning a blue card, while the one on the second floor will spawn a red card. If not, then both of them will be reversed. So it doesn't matter which either way, you're going to snag those two cards anyway, just to keep you in mind. Now, of course, I'm in this room. This is also one of the possible locations to turn off the power to the gate. Of course, I just waited out. So I sneak a little bit to do a radio hack, which is one of the more powerful skills in the game. Now, another thing here, I waited out. Okay, this is the moment that I think a lot of people usually get caught off guard, and sometimes it happens to me many times, is that if you try to pick up an item while someone spots you, it's pretty much illegal. So if a camera spots me picking up this blue card, he will try to arrest me. So I want to make sure I want to keep my mask on. And for the reason that the camera doesn't spot me, even though I'm in a private area, because I have a skill, as long as I'm not mask on and have rush, the cameras don't give a shit about me unless I perform illegal actions like picking up this key card, for example. So the best bet for me is to wait out until the camera starts to turn away and for me to pick up that key card.
Watch the camera.
And you're definitely going to do this quite a lot, especially if you want to go for all the loot and stealth for, well, the previous heist later on. Okay, here's another one in Overkill difficulty, which is only exclusive to this difficulty for No Rest for the Wicked, is you need to find a phone, and the phone can be located in the, of course, the ground floor in the back, where there be the manager's office, the meeting room, or pretty much in the like the back area of the tech where the blue employee is. So here's the other power switch. And of course, civilians don't give a shit that I do this because I had the skill. Now, of course, here's a security office, and here's a camera operator. Now, my radio hack is actually on a cooldown, so that way, I'm just gonna wait out so I do my other objectives. Now, of course, you hacked it. As long as you get the shut off the power first, you can able to do the flipping up the switch at the gate once you get the color for the switch. Sorry how a little blurry this is, but pretty much don't bother with the symbol, but more so just the color of it. And pretty much there's going to be 4 colors. There's going to be white, blue, green, and red. And that's another thing I like to do is placing the microcams at the back of the guards. Okay, now this one you need to look out for stealth and overkill. This is of course a lead guard. You can identify him by having a different vest, wearing a hat, and has like a little radio, like 3 antennas on his back. This guy, you definitely want to avoid killing him, because if you kill him, he will trigger a radio. And of course, if you answer it, of course it takes up your radio lines, or how many radios you can answer before the control guy gets suspicious. Except for a lead guard, its radios is endless. So once you use it all up, it's game over. So you want to avoid him at all costs. But his pathing is also a little different. You see, when you study the normal guard's pathing, it becomes very easy to predict and to avoid. With a lead guard, his pathing is unpredictable. And, of course, he will change his patterns the more you progress through the level. So another thing I like to do here is place the microcam on his back. So for the lead guard spawn location in No Rest for the Wicked, he will be located pretty much guarding between the center, the middle of the staircase. Now, before I say anything else, I'm going to still explain more with the camera operator or the lead guard. So he will be controlling the staircase and the roof. But the moment that you open, well, he does come in the second floor a little bit as well, and also going for a drink in the second floor as well, where the guard that's been outlined red, that's usually where the lead guard will go there as well. He does come a little bit in the ground floor, but once you open the vault door, he will actually go outside in the alleyway, pretty much the back of the, I guess, the 7 shape pattern on the very back of the bank. And the reason I say the 7 shape is it's pretty much the 2 doors between the fence, like the little fence or the gate that you open to the back to lead up to the fire escape or the stairs to get to the roof. And there's of course another door pretty much on the side and pretty much in the next to the front of the bank. So of course I got spotted on purpose here, and the reason I did it is because since this is a private area, not a secure area, I won't get arrested. But funny enough, I actually got arrested here during my live stream because I was in a secure area. But here is a private area, so it will try to escort me out. But the reason I did this is I get him to disable the radio or the cameras. And that's when I do my radio hack right here.
You shouldn't be in here. I'll need you to come with me. This area is restricted.
So I just do that, and you probably will notice, well, the cameras will be offline. Okay, I know it's not the best shot where the camera is, but you can definitely tell the camera up there is no longer a red light. So that means the cameras are offline, but the camera operator is still alive, which saves you a pager. Now, I'm sure this will subject to change in a later patch, but for now, though, it's a nice little tip to save you extra trouble. That way, you don't have to worry about wasting a pager on a camera and one roaming guard around. Okay, got the Segative here, and there's actually going to be two Segatives. We'll locate on each side of the map. Frankly, luckily though, I actually have good little pathing with the guards, since the lead guard is off the roof, and the other one is not in the way. So I still, of course, going to use my first radio to kill this guard right here. I always kill the first one here because you need to basically drag the Segative here. And of course, I have to answer his radio or pager. I still could probably call on pagers regardless. Now, of course, this really depends on the difficulty. For normal and hard, you will have 4 pagers you can answer. For very hard, you only have 3, and on Overkill, you'll only have 2. And of course, usually on higher difficulties, usually they do spawn more guards. I'm not sure about how many cameras though. So here's I use the micro cam, and this is why I like to place them on their backs, so that way I can easily highlight them. And yeah, this guy, I have no idea. He's just got his legs stuck, and he's his expression too is hilarious, like he's having a freaking fun ride. So of course now I decided to go for the manager computer for the codes. Keep looking at it all the time. Now of course, if you able to play with a buddy, if you're going for this one with no mask, I definitely recommend you to actually hide or crouch down when you're interacting with a computer, because if they spot you doing with a computer, they will actually radio a guard nearby and try to arrest you. So don't do that. So make sure you actually take cover and crouch down. And here's the other Segative that you can also snatch if you're not fancy with the other one, which I do think this one is more easier to get because he's pretty much alone by himself, but you do have a bit of risk of civilians in the couch in the opening. So of course I'm just waiting it out, and of course just taking my time here, just let the guards do their paths. Once up there, I'm good to go. Now, of course, this guide here is not really meant to secure all the loot. I'm not going for all of them. This is simply just a guide how to beat it on Overkill. Especially if you try to complete your challenges, you know, a little bit faster if possible. Especially if you need to complete this particular heist name on Overkill difficulty. And the reason I kind of a little hesitant right there is because, well, I actually took a screenshot and find out what it is, but you shouldn't really need to because the objective will tell you anyway. But on certain heists, taking a screenshot, whether it be on a controller or Steam, wherever you have your screenshot for, it comes very handy, so that way you don't actually have to remember it by heart. Plus, it saves you the trouble of having a headache. So, and another thing too is watch out when you're in secure areas of sprinting or sliding, because you will track noise. So you can't just sprint anywhere you go, willy-nilly, because they will investigate the noise. So you want to actually always walk as fast as you can. And I try to do, of course, to save as much die pack as I can. The highest one I can actually do is 6. Which, of course, is not fast enough, but I still think 6 is still a load, definitely a lot of money just for 6. Now, of course, there's going to be 2 locations where the fans is going to park. It's either going to be parked, of course, in the parking lot inside of the bank, or it can be located on the street in front of the bank, which is actually one of the worst spots you can get. So I much rather have it in the parking lot, which frankly, the only thing I have to deal with is one particular guard, or 2 guards, usually. One, patrols the alleyway and one controls the parking lot. So it's just only a matter of time. So I use my phone, and the lead guard looks like it's outside, and you can definitely see he's already outside, and of course he does his... Now he's going to do either the 7 shape pattern in the alleyway. Here's the other guard. I would love to take him out, but normally it's quite difficult because there's the villains around, and it's very risky to get him killed. But I did use something else to lure him inside the building. And another cool thing too is that if you stay in a public area for a little bit long, your AI buddies will actually come towards you. Just very slowly though, which you can probably see Hoxton the Wolf is coming my way, which is really nice to have because you can actually give the bots a bag, which you can still give them without having a mask on for them. Which, unlike, Payday 2, you can't do that, which is a damn shame. But this is definitely a nice quality of change for, solo stealth players. I mean, it's not amazing compared to having, quick with Payday 2 where you can interact stuff faster. And you can definitely see you can actually place some loot on the AI. So I'm just, taking my time here, collecting all the loot as I can. Of course, I will still go over the... Sorry about that, still have a very terrible cough. I'll still go for the dye packs. Or the money that's been coated with dye. It's just that you don't get much money or much value. So I just take my time here and then sprint in the private area. Now wait it out, and he's returned. Now I did try to use my throwing knife to make some noise, which I was like, oh, he did. That didn't do nothing. But then, oh, as the exclamation point, he tried to investigate the noise, but for some reason he investigated on the other side. So I'll still try to do my best here. But then I try to do my throwing knife again, but I think this time... Oh, I actually shut the door, which is actually hilarious, but he doesn't give a shit. I do the throwing knife, and then a civilian actually radio in, which I thought I was screwed for sure, but no, it's just that the guard will actually... Either 2 things could happen. One, he probably would report a nearby guard to investigate the noise, or the guard already hear the noise. So it's one of the 2. So this is a good time. I was ready to go for a shot, but I missed. But luckily, a good thing I missed too. That way I can close the door and actually deal with the radio.
Central, please respond. What the hell is wrong with these new radios? I like the old ones better. Really? Well, I guess I'll take your word for it. This time.
And there we go. Well, that's it for the 2 guards.
Guard over there.
Now, of course, I'm still going to use the microcam to highlight the lead guard. And I think that's the only pathing he does, really, in No Rest for the Wicked. Just the staircase of the roof, and then the 7-shape pattern and the back alleyway of the bank. Now it's just take my time here. There usually is 2 civilians next to that car, but since one of them got ready to end because he saw the throwing knife, he decided to run away, but never alert anyone else. So it definitely makes things more easier. And of course, on the difficulty, you had to secure a lot of bags. Depends on the percentage.
That's 2 bags.
Thankfully, the boss Carriot can also follow me towards the van as well.
That's 3.
So despite, you know, how useless they are for doing things loud, like very hard or overkill, at least they're smart enough for stealth, which I actually dig. But I really hope they definitely do give them, you know, the much love they need for loud combat for the next update. So yeah, this is when I go for the, well, the money with pretty much coated with dye.
Find your papers.
Of course, you can see a different icon. Looks like it's like ripped apart, and of course, you can see the little foul odor from the dye it leaves out, which doesn't get anyone suspicious at all. All it does really just gives you just less loot, or pretty much less cash, when you secure it.
Bags and counting. That's 6.
And last one. I don't care a shit about the others. After all, I'm only here to help you guys doing this guide on beating it, rather than just trying to secure all the loot. If I really want to go for all the loot, I'll definitely do another video on all the loot this time. But, yep, that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thank you for watching, everyone. Until next time, when I'll be cover up dirty ice. Until then, farewell, and have a wonderful day, everyone.